Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. Happy spring. I'm Tom Soccocio Jr., the creative director at Zoey Advertising, along with Steve Roberts, who's the owner of Zoey Advertising.
Tom.
Yeah.
I have a new fisherman friend. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, the guy before.
Look at this, right? Is
Matt.
Is this my happy place or what?
Yeah, you like that stuff.
So are you and I and Matt going to go fishing? Are you going to commit to doing it?
I would, yeah.
Maybe
I would
drag
do
Nick
that.
along?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd like to actually catch some fish. So.
I know how poorly you do.
I've watched his videos, and he pulls out some lunkers.
Well, they edit out all the things. You know, when you're fishing, nothing,
Right.
nothing. Then they edit that out, and then when you catch the fish...
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's that, he doesn't have a full crew and everything. So I think he's real. He's the real deal. He knows when to go out there and when to fish and all that. So I look forward to it.
Me too.
I'd like to have that happen. Hey, tell me a little bit about Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. I know, it's been interesting. I talked to our boy Joe Scrippa, and he was telling me that things were actually chugging along pretty good. And then, of course, national news will tell you it's bad. So, either way, you can get your mortgage and your home equity loans.
Good news or bad news, if you need a house,
right?
You got to live somewhere.
Right. You got to.
Good news or bad news?
It's always moving.
And the rates have adjusted, and that's for sure. But if you don't want to spend too much money, go to Geddes.
Right.
Seriously, and you can have a conversation with local people. They are right here. They don't charge that PMI. You and I have talked about that before.
Right.
That private mortgage insurance, which ensures that you pay your loan. Well, gee, didn't I just do that? So there's extra fees from national organizations, and people go online to faraway places. They're just terrific there. So if you're going to do something, or even if you're going to borrow off your home and maybe put in that swimming pool you want, Tom? Mm-hmm. No pool this year? Okay.
Nope.
But Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, if you go anywhere else, you went somewhere else. Why'd you do that? Go to GeddesFederalSavingsandLoan.com. Tom?
Okay. It's our pleasure right now to bring on somebody new to the show. Tania Anderson is the CEO of Arise. How are you, Tania?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Tania, are you a Syracuse native? Did you grow up around here?
I did grow up around here.
Mm-hmm. What high school did you go to?
I actually went to West Genesee High School, and now I'm a very proud Valley resident.
Yeah, very nice.
They all are, I know.
See, once you're in the Valley, you're proud.
That's, I guess. I don't know.
It's a great place.
Beautiful place to be. Yeah, I used to play baseball and all that on Meacham School field, and all that.
Yeah,
and,
my daughter went to Meacham. I was in the Meacham PTO. It's
very
a great
nice
place.
Yeah. So what do you do at Arise? How'd you get into Arise?
So I'm the CEO at Arise, and I actually got involved many years ago, almost 25 years ago.
So
I was on the board of directors of Arise, and then my daughter was born, and she was diagnosed with a disability when she was about 13 months old. So the work that we do at Arise involves people of all ages and all disabilities, advocacy and inclusion. And the mission has always been important to me. But when my daughter was born and diagnosed, it became much more personal and much more immediate to me. So I got more and more involved. And then an opportunity came up when my predecessor announced his retirement. And I put my hat in the ring. And here I am. It's been about 7 years.
Is there any confusion to what Arise does?
I think there is, because there are a lot of really great human service agencies in our area. And what makes Arise different is that we're an independent living center. That's a special designation by the state and federal government. So we're the only one in Central New York. And we have a mandate to serve people any age, any disability. We have to have at least 50% of our board of directors identify as people with disabilities. We employ people with disabilities. And we're really about giving people with disabilities the power to direct their own lives, to give them the services that they want, so that they're fully included. Everything is based in the community. Everything is really based about the power that people with disabilities have.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people in our family use Arise. Adam, my cousin, and he was independent living, and he did really well. In fact, I would see Adam at the New York State Fair, and I'd say we always thought that he was, not able to do things on his own. But through Arise and that independence and having his own apartment and being checked on and all that stuff, he became very independent and was able to do his own shopping.
So what is independent?
And all that.
Is independent, it's independent with the support and the structures and the help that makes them independent? Explain that a little bit.
So what we try to do is presume competence. So we presume that someone can direct their own lives and can be included. And if you think about it, disability is really an arbitrary line that any of us can be in the disability community at any time. Actually, 1 in 5 of us identify as a person with a disability. So you can be born with a disability, you can sustain an injury, you can have a short-term injury where you're disabled. And as we age, we need more support. So there are some very simple things like, curb cuts and automatic door openers that will allow someone who has mobility issues to access a building, and then more complex things like a job coach that will assist someone in the workplace so that they can earn an income. Housing supports. It really can be anything and everything.
But if somebody has severe cerebral palsy, let's say, and that they cannot think for themselves, like they can't calculate things and, navigate a car, they can't drive or anything like that, you still have homes for them as well?
Well, so Arise actually doesn't do any residential. Everything is based in the community. But someone with an intellectual disability, they can have supports in place also to help them navigate the systems.
Because my wife's sister was in a group home, and that's different than what Arise does.
That is different from what Arise does. But there are many really good providers out there that do that residential support.
Yeah.
So it's in but you said something that surprised me a little. You said even temporary. So somebody has an injury. I had a serious injury in 2006. I had a traumatic brain injury.
Right.
I was out of work for 2 years. Things changed, and there were a lot of supports and things that had to be adapted. Certain things just were very, very difficult for me.
Right.
But by the grace of God, I don't know if I grew out of it, but it changed.
Right.
But there were certain things then that just couldn't be, and there was things that had to be adapted, even where we were living, where I would sit at a table.
It can be
because
very
of light
simple.
and all kinds of things.
Very simple things. You think about kids in school that might have problems with focusing or knowing what's the next thing because they have some sort of intellectual disability or just something going on. You can just put out a visual planner for them and just help them direct. We have a loan closet where we have medical equipment that if someone has a temporary injury where they need a walker or a shower chair or something like that, they can just come to Arise and borrow it and return it.
Wow, that's great.
I didn't know. How are you supported?
We are supported with donations. We have grant funding. We have some fee-for-service programs. We have a very large mental health clinic that bills Medicaid. We have a really diverse funding stream.
And is Arise in different cities? So is there like a national chapter of Arise, and then you run the Syracuse chapter?
So Arise is the designated independent living center in Onondaga, Oswego, Madison, Cayuga, and Seneca counties. There is a national and state network of independent living centers, but we are independent within that network.
Gotcha. And do you run all those? Are you CEO of all those?
I'm CEO of
chapters?
Those locations in Central New
We
York.
have a lot of free time.
We have a lot of free time.
How many people does Arise employ?
We're at about 600 people.
Oh my goodness. Do you ever look for volunteers, or is it purely?
We are always looking for volunteers. We have, please go to our website, ariseinc.org, which has volunteer opportunities at places like our farm, where actually you can go fishing and catch some
you
fish.
guys do like a Halloween thing too, didn't you? Arise at the farm.
We have a barn dance out at the farm.
Yeah.
We have adaptive design. We have a ramp program. We've got a lot of great opportunities for volunteers and people who want to get involved.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for all you do, Tania. Tania Anderson right there. She's CEO of Arise, and thank you for collecting all those volunteers too. You guys do a great thing in the community.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Big Luke Lunkenheimer. He is the chairman of CNY Drives with an interesting story and an interesting business right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.